Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! How is everybody doing? Welcome back to our Big Bash coverage as this competition continues, and we have got an absolute cracker ready for tonight. The Melbourne Renegades, the rejuvenated Melbourne Renegades, ready to take on the Perth Scorchers. And it's not the only thing that is absolutely cracking tonight, I must say. Gotta say, I'm quite happy with the new graphics. Still in the implementation process, but I'm very happy with how things are starting to look. D-Funk, ahoy there, mate. Welcome along to this one. Should be an absolute blockbuster. The Melbourne Renegades, I've said it on a few occasions, but I do believe truly that they are the team that has recruited the best for BBL 14, and they've got an opportunity here to really put the rest of the competition on notice and let them know, hey, we're here, we are the real deal in BBL 14, and taking the scalp of the Perth Scorchers would be a fantastic start. That being said, though, the Perth Scorchers have got the runs on the board, so to speak. Not in this game, but just in general. The Perth Scorchers are a team that's always there or thereabouts. So look for them to still be highly competitive in BBL 14, regardless of everything, regardless of the recruitment of the other squads. The Melbourne Renegades in this instance. The Scorchers will always be difficult to beat this one. Could go down to the wire. Should go down to the wire. What the hell just happened there behind my shoulder? That was weird. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on that. And it should go down to the wire. Should be another good game. We've seen so many good games in BBL 14 so far. Expecting this one to be another cracker. I've tipped the Perth Scorchers just because I'm not quite ready to throw my entire heart and soul behind the Melbourne Renegades just yet. They've recruited extremely well. I think they're going to be incredibly competitive in BBL 14, and I think they will most certainly feature at finals time, but I'm just not quite ready to put myself out there just yet. I've been hurt before in other sports by other teams, and I'm not quite ready to just throw myself out there for the Renegades just yet, but they've certainly got the makings of a very, very good team. What say you, chat room? Scorchers or Renegades? We can tell you, of course, that it is my team, the Brisbane Heat, who are on top of the BBL at the moment, but both the Renegades and the Scorchers will be looking to change that. Who will be going into Christmas on top of the table? Renegades, Scorchers, or the Brisbane Heat? Because I'm pretty sure that whoever wins this game will take over the Brisbane Heat just based on net run rate, especially the Renegades. The Renegades' net run rate is immensely superior to the other teams at the moment. Wasted World of Sports. Live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Facebook. Welcome along. If you're new to joining the channel, welcome along. Buckle in and get set for the ride. It's pretty random. On my own tonight, no co-host. Cricket is the best sport. Thank you very much for the follow over there on TikTok. Very much appreciate that. Welcome along to everybody there. As I said, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. wastedsports.com.au is our website that we'll be building up next year. Putting a little bit more emphasis on it. 5 minutes to go until we get underway. I can tell you that the Melbourne Renegades have won the bat flip and elected to bowl first. And this was a big toss to win, I think. D-Funk, you've got Finn Allen under 21.5 and under 6.5 total sixes for the first innings. I think that's a good one. I think sixes will be hard to come by tonight just because of the bowling attacks, if nothing else. It's kind of like, for those of us who are into the footy, for those of us who watch the footy, right? It's kind of like the top of the table clash in a way. And you expect very tight defence and very few tries being scored. I feel like this is going to be very similar. I feel like the bowling is going to be on point from over 1 to over 20 from both sides. Boundaries will be very hard to come by. A huge toss to win because we've seen a slight advantage, I think, just starting to see throughout the course as BBL 14 continues on and evolves. We're starting to see the chasing teams with a slight advantage. Jordan, ahoy, mate. Oh, Jordan, I've got a fabulous story for you too, by the way, mate. So I got a message from Michelle earlier today. All capitals, screaming, going, "God damn you and Jordan." I'm like, why? What did we do? All her entire newsfeed now is just full of darts because we kept going on about it so much last night. That is fabulous. So, as for a same-game multi, as for predictions, I think Cooper Connolly's been in great form. So, let's go nice and safe and secure Cooper Connolly over 10 runs. Jennings over 10 runs. Inglis to hit a 6. And Tom Rogers, anytime wicket taker. And that'll take care of us here in this first innings. And then at the innings break, we'll slap something on for the Renegades run chase. And I can tell you what I'm thinking. Big Josh Brown, it could be his night. Jordan says, go Perth. C. Johnson. I don't know why I just naturally assumed that the C stands for Chris. It might not. C. Johnson on YouTube. I need a lock. It doesn't matter what it pays. Just a lock. Boundaries will be very hard to come by. Sixes, as such, will be very hard to come by. But if there is one man that I would almost put the house on getting a big hit, it would be Josh Brown to hit a 6. If you tied me down and put a gun to my head and said, I need a bet, and this bet better save your life, my immediate thought is I'm going big Josh Brown to hit a 6. As the Renegades, here they come. Nate, 2011, ahoy, mate. The Renegades now come up. Renegades, of course, as I said, they won the bat flip. They elected to field first. And that has produced the winner in the past few games, hasn't it? Winning the bat flip, electing to field. And they've made it difficult. Of course, they've made it difficult at times, all teams chasing. But ultimately, they've got the job done in the end. So we'll see Finn Allen out to open for the Scorchers. And Cooper Connolly, I am assuming, will also be out there joining him. Nate, what's going on tomorrow for Christmas Eve? Well, that's a good question because there's no sports on. Well, no cricket anyway. No cricket, no footy, of course. We're in the footy off-season well and truly. No more cricket until the 26th. What are we going to do? Jordan says, Allen, last 4 balls, 6, wicket, 4, wicket. What's happened to the lights? The lights have gone off at the stadium. Oh, of course. Yeah, Will, I wasn't... It certainly wasn't criticism of there being no sports on over the next couple of days. As a matter of fact, quite frankly, they probably should get more time off, if we're being perfectly honest. Keaton Jennings is out. Okay, so no Cooper Connolly to open the batting. They've gone for Keaton Jennings. Well, that's all right. I've got Jennings in my multi. 10-plus runs, please. If you don't mind, sir. And we are off and running. The first delivery is just... Well, the first delivery's been fended at and missed, and a big appeal from O'Neill, but nothing doing. And we are underway here as the Scorchers take on the Renegades. Big game, this one, it should be. Fingers crossed, anyway. Oh, an inside edge onto the pads. And through to the keeper. And Finn Allen just looking a little uncomfortable here to start. 2 good deliveries from O'Neill. It's amazing, isn't it, to think that the Melbourne Renegades, the oft-times just traditional whipping boys of the competition, uppishly played and caught while Finn Allen's gone. What a start for the home side, the Melbourne Renegades. They've made the breakthrough. 3 deliveries gone. It's 1 for none. Needless to say, they couldn't have asked for a better start here. The Renegades winning the toss, electing to field first. Finn Allen was never looking comfortable, it must be said. At no point there was he looking comfortable. And that was pretty poor. Just lobs it up. Well, I'm a Brisbane Heat supporter, so as a Brisbane Heat supporter, I'm personally glad that McSweety got dropped from the test team. And here comes Cooper Connolly now. I've got my 2 Perth Scorchers batters out there. The ones that I need for 10+. Oh, and just prodding at that one outside of stump, Connolly. They are not looking comfy at all. The Perth Scorchers batsmen. Ahoy there, Michelle. I was just talking about you. I was telling Jordan about your newsfeed getting polluted with darts. Thanks to us. And again, outside off stump, through to the keeper. Well bowled. An absolute dream of a first over. Balling on the pads and a little bit of miscommunication from the batters, but a wicket maiden to start. And maiden overs are absolute gold in T20 cricket, of course. A wicket to boot. Could not have asked for a better start there. The Melbourne Renegades well and truly on top. If they want, it's going to change, of course. T20 swings and roller coasters all the way through the game. But if they weren't favourites to begin with, the Renegades, they certainly are now after that first over. One for none. 1 over gone. Tom Rogers. Well, I do need Tom Rogers for a wicket in my multi, but I also need both of these batsmen to get 10 runs. So this is now an awkward scenario. I want him to get a wicket, but not so soon. Rogers to start the second over off the outside edge. Defunk's got a tick off the multi in the first over. Well, those are always good. That's like getting a tick off your multi in the footy inside the opening 10 minutes. Runs obviously proving very difficult to come by. Well, to be fair, we were talking about this at the top of the stream. In the pre-game, we were talking about how both bowling attacks are going to be on point from start to finish. From over 1 to over 20, both teams are going to bowl immaculately. Bruiser Cruiser, ahoy mate. Two dot balls to start this over. 1.2 overs and they're not off the mark yet. The Perth Scorchers. This is very, very tough going out there. And another dot ball. Just punched away to point. When I said that runs would be very hard to come by, I've got to admit, still, I wasn't expecting it to be quite this bad. Very well bowled for the Renegades to start. Rogers with his fourth delivery. A swing and a miss from Jennings. Well, they are incredibly bogged down here, the Perth Scorchers. And I, for one, am just not used to seeing this. This is absolutely incredible. They can't possibly get a second maiden over, surely. Good start, indeed. Now it's been pulled away for 4. Well, that's better. The shackles are released. And it's Keaton Jennings. Jason Hayden, ahoy there. Good start for you. And the first boundary of the night. Keaton Jennings. That was a shot with authority. A couple of steps down the wicket. And away it goes. Well played. And there we go. The stupidity begins. Jennings stepping way across the stumps, looking for the ramp shot. And he cops it on the fingers. Help me, please. Help me. Why? Why do they do it? I will never get my head wrapped around that, I'm afraid. And unsurprisingly there, no result from that. Jason Hayden, you've got the Scorchers, I'm assuming. The Scorchers under 169.5. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good shout. That's probably a pretty good shout there, Jason. To be perfectly honest, I think it'll be a low-scoring game. Down the leg side. Connolly can't make contact. 1 for 4, 2.1 overs gone. What's your dog been doing there? Had to sort the dog out. What's the boofster been up to? Just pushed down to mid-off, no run. Outside off stump, played away, misfield, just a single. Yeah, Jason Hayden says, is this a T20 or a test match? Certainly finding it difficult to get the ball away at the moment, the Scorchers. He had a teeny accident, huh? Old man now, and we just had a walk. Sometimes there's a dribble. I know exactly how that feels. O'Neill, 1 for 1 off 1.3 and down the pitch, and a big swing and a miss from Keaton Jennings. Runs very hard to come by. James GK, thank you very much for the follow over there on TikTok. Well appreciated, mate. Connolly for 10 plus runs, Jennings for 10 plus runs, Inglis to hit a 6, and Tom Rogers to get a wicket. And another big swing and a miss. A hoik on the onside is what he was looking for. No result. And it remains 1 for 5. Very slow going for the Perth Scorchers batsman. Drives down the ground, gets it over the infield. He certainly didn't make full contact with it, Jennings. And they'll come back for 2. 3 from the over, 1 for 7. 3 overs gone. This is incredibly slow going. Dream start here for the Melbourne Renegades. We have been talking in the pre-game about how I have the opinion that the Renegades are the real deal in BBL 14. Very much the real deal. They've recruited extremely well. They've probably done the best recruitment drive out of all the teams. And honestly, this is their chance to make a statement against the Perth Scorchers, one of the favourites for the competition. The Renegades can certainly let them know that they're here for BBL 14. Mitchell Vellasport, ahoy, mate. Michelle, I'm pretty sure you tipped the Renegades. Because you sent me a message saying, how come the Renegades aren't the favourites? So unless you changed it, you had gone for the Renegades at that point. C. Johnson, you needed the lock for a $5 bet on DraftKings. And if it wins, you get $150 in bonus bets. Ah, nice. Well, as I said, if I was tied down and had to beg for my life, and they said, place a bet on a cricket match, and if it wins, you'll be safe, I would say Josh Brown to hit a 6. I stand by that. That man is a beast. A big, big hitter. Glanced down the leg side and past the keeper. It's going to pull up in the outfield. Well, the outfield extremely slow. And they come back for 3. Right, so that'll be interesting to keep an eye on as well. So not only is it going to be tight because of the quality of bowling from both sides, but it looks like an extremely slow outfield as well. I feel like I might have over-tipped the Sixers. Wasted World of Sports, BBL 14 tipping contest, of course. The tiebreaker is for the amount of sixes that will be hit in a game. And the way that it's going at the moment, I might have gone way too high for the sixes in this one. I said 8. Well, there's a half volley pulled away. Almost picks out the man at deep square leg, but they'll just get the 1. 3 deliveries left in the power play. And the Renegades have controlled this extremely well. Winning the bat flip and electing to field. I'll probably just have the night off, Jordan, to be perfectly honest. I know that when you do content creation and consistency is the key. So even if there are no games on, it does make sense for us to continue to grow the channel by having other content, but sometimes a break is good as well, every now and then. Whoops, nearly overflowed that drink. 2 deliveries left in the power play. Big swing and a miss from Connolly. And a slower ball through. 1 from 10 for Connolly, 7 from 10 for Jennings. Well, I need them to score 10 runs, not face 10 deliveries. This is unbelievable. But of course, as we always say, and as we know all too well, do not judge a pitch until both teams have batted on it or bowled on it, as it were. A swing and a miss outside off stump. An appeal from behind. And no thought of a DRS there. A slash outside off stump. No contact from Connolly. And wow, a current run rate of 3. Unbelievable. 1 for 12. The first 4 overs are gone. And I hope we're liking the new graphics, slightly new graphics. I've taken the feedback on YouTube, the feedback on TikTok, and I've tried to just tidy things up a little bit. Cricket requires a lot of information, but I feel like we might have filtered down just the key relevant bits yet and just tidied things up a bit. Just removing my green screen, I think, has made a world of difference. Sutherland into the bowling attack. I wanted to have a bet on Will Sullivan. I'll try that again. Will Sutherland. I wanted to have a bet on him for any time wicket taker. Yeah, catch you later, Brizza Cruiser. Enjoy, mate. Defunk. You just cashed out your 2-leg multi. It was $10 into 41. Cash offer was 33.5. Well, yeah, that was a no-brainer then. Why take the risk over $8? One for 13 here. The Scorchers, after being sent into bat, finding it very difficult going at the moment. God, I've got to say, the odds have probably really blown out in favour of the Renegades. Fallen on the stumps and just guided down to third man. They'll take the 1 and just the single. Let's have a look here and actually see BBL matches. And yes, wow. The Renegades at the moment, $1.44. The Scorchers have blown out to $2.75. The Renegades, big-time favoritism at the moment with the bookies. There's another single. Jennings cuts it away for one. Lance, 6210. Thank you very much for the follow. Over on the TikTok. Approaching the 1,000 follower mark. Slowly but surely over there on TikTok. I think we're up in the 700s now, if I'm not mistaken. 2 deliveries left in this over for Sutherland. He's kept it tight. Just the singles from it. A direct hit will have him in trouble. It is a direct hit. Well, this could be another wicket. And this could be my multi done. The bat jammed into the pitch. Running through, sliding the bat as you're always taught to do, and it just jams into the pitch, and he is gone. One run short of the 10 that I needed him to get. Unbelievable. Jennings has gone for 9. I needed him for 10 plus. That cheeky son of a bitch. He did what you're always taught to do. Slide the bat. And it just went straight into the grass and stuck there. That is very unlucky. Very unfortunate there. Yeah, that's gambling indeed. That's why I much prefer trading. Sports trading over... The same game multis are just a bit of fun, aren't they? Good Lord. They're just a wee bit of fun. But if you want a little bit more certainty, of course, I recommend looking into trading. As Inglis comes out to the crease. Two for 15, an incredibly slow start. Sutherland drifting onto the leg side. Turned away for a single. 2 for 16 after 5. Perth will lose and then win on Boxing Day, predicts Lance. Defunk says 60% on DraftKings revenue comes from failed multis. And that's exactly why you got such a good cash out offer, Defunk, on yours. They usually shortchange you with the cash out offers. Michelle says Boxing Day is going to be outstanding with the sport on. Adam Zampa into the bowling attack. Floats this one up. It's full. It's taken off the bottom, off the toe of the bat. And just down for a single. Nearly a caught and bowled to start for Zampa. Oh, that was the TV remote. Just went down off the table. Which I might need in a minute, actually, if they get me to switch channels. And a full toss. Got to punish this one. And there it is, the first 6 of the innings. Pulled away over the square leg boundary for 6. And finally, well, that was a bad ball, quite frankly. And it needed to be dealt with. And it was. Cooper Connolly goes to 8. Yeah, it's on Channel 7. A much better length this time from Zampa. Driven down to long on for one. Hilarious. That was the first 6, yes. Two for 24. Zampa gone for 9 off the over so far. Can't beat the infield. Well fielded there. Sutherland saves a single. So the power surge will become very interesting. I feel like a few teams have really butchered the power surge in the recent games. The end of the 6th, it's 2 for 25. This is incredible. Well, we talked about it in the pregame. I talked about it in last night's stream as well. The Melbourne Renegades, I said, they've recruited well. They are the real deal in BBL 14. And they've started extremely well here in this big clash. Almost certainly a preview of one of the finals games. And Keaton Jennings there, just one run short of the 10 that I needed him to get. Cooper Connolly goes to 9 off 18. Inglis, 3 from 3. Sutherland back into the attack, 4 off his first over. Inglis guides it away to backward point, no run. .1 overs gone, eh? This might possibly be the slowest start I've ever seen the Perth Scorchers get off to. They're certainly not scorching at the moment, shall we say. A half volley pulled away. Can't find the gap. Picks out Fraser McGurk in the outfield, just the one run. Poor deliveries are going to be few and far between, as we were talking about in the pregame for both sides. So when you do get one, you've got to punish it, and I feel like they just missed out on an opportunity there. That was there for the hitting. Still not quite finding their feet and timing things at the moment. Now, this is just lofted up into the air. Lands safely in between infield and outfield. Nice. Courtney Johnson with the win. $150 worth in free bets. 6 plus 25 bonus bets. So one goes on Brown 6. Three deliveries left here for Sutherland. Inglis goes for it. It's high. It almost hits the roof. And it's on the boundary to Fraser McGurk. Half a metre short of the 6. And Inglis is on his way. The Renegades are well on top here. Massively on top. Just didn't quite get hold of it there. Inglis and Fraser McGurk on the boundary. Barely had to move. Inglis on his way. 4 runs off 6 deliveries. May as well turn my multi off the screen now. 0 legs. And the Melbourne Renegades, the real deal, in BBL 14. Three for 27. More than likely, Jordan. More than likely. More than likely indeed. Turner faces his first ball, turns it away. Down to fine leg for one. Thought about the two. That would have been crazy. Wow, the TV commentators are echoing. I'm very happy to know that audio issues are not just reserved for low-key streamers. Speaking of low-key on TikTok. Ahoy there, mate. Welcome along. Aussies 2-1 on Boxing Day, question mark. Very hard to know, isn't it? India should certainly not be underestimated. Very good team. 3 for 28 here. 7 overs gone. God, the way that it's going, I'm pretty sure that they would be absolutely thrilled with 150. Jason Hayden, your payout is $16.40 at the moment. Is that $16.40 or $1,640? I can't quite see that. O'Neill into the attack and a swing and a miss outside off stump. Again, just struggling to get to the pitch of the ball. The Renegades bowling extremely well. Winning the bat flip. Sending the Scorchers in. O'Neill 1 for 3 off 2.1 so far. This time Turner steps back, gives himself some room, only just gets it over mid-off. Again, it wasn't pure contact. Three for 30. Jammer X. Welcome along, mate. We all know that I can't do that. Jason Hayden with a full payout of nearly 2K. That would be very nice. Very nice indeed. Well, fingers crossed, Jason. Slower ball onto the legs. Turner can't make anything out of that. The Scorchers batsman just not getting to the pace of the ball, not getting to the pitch of the ball. Finding it very difficult going at the moment. Two deliveries left in this over. It's outside of stump. Chopped away for 4. Big top edge, and it races away to the third man boundary. And a much needed 4 for the, Perth Scorchers, 3 for 34 now. Got to get a move along. But as we say, and we always say, and we keep coming back to that point, don't judge a pitch until both teams are batted on it. Good delivery there to finish. Just pushed down for a single. He was gone if there was a direct hit. But they raced through for a single. 7 runs off that over. 3 for 35 it is after 8. But the Renegades, well and truly on top at the moment. And let's see, the Scorchers at one point there, they blew out to $2.75. Well, I can tell you, the Scorchers have now blown out to $3.50. And the Renegades, favourites, at $1.33. A lot of work to do here for the Scorchers. But that's the beauty of T20 cricket, right? The beauty of the Big Bash is just one massive power surge. Oh, he was gone by a long way if there was a direct hit. Cooper Connolly. Be right back here. Well, these are the moments where a co-host is absolutely golden. Tom Rogers gets his wicket. The first delivery, Ashton Turner on his way, clean bowled. And the Scorchers have lost their 4th. They could be bowled out for under 100 here. That would be insanity. Ashton Agar in the dugout. Bereft of answers. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Matthew Spores out to the crease. 4 for 35. Renegades winning the bat flip, electing to field first, sending the Scorchers in and making them pay. Whew. Turned away to the leg side just for 1. They could push for 2 perhaps, but they'll settle for 1. And let's see what that does to the odds. They'd gone from 270. Well, it's taken away at the moment while they reevaluate their life. Four for 36. This is unbelievable. Rogers taking on mid-off. A risky single. Misses with the throw, and they get their 1. That was a risky call, though. Four for 36. The power surge could be the key here to this innings. If the Scorchers find it slow going during their surge overs, they could be well and truly done. Big appeal from Rogers, although I don't know why exactly. They come through for the singles. The Scorchers are leg by, but I think height and way down the leg side there. Ambitious appeal at best. Rogers, poor Tommy Rogers, he was the only one interested in that. So 2 deliveries left in this over. 4 for 38. 4.38. The run rate. Drifting onto the legs. Turned away to square leg for 1. So quite frankly, apart from the wickets, things are going along somewhat as we expected. We expected low scoring. We expected boundaries to be very hard to come by. We expected both bowling teams to be on point from start to finish, from over 1 to over 20. It's just the wickets for the Scorchers. Isaac, ahoy there, mate. Isaac says, what team do you go for? Well, I mean, I go for the McHeat, but I have been talking up the McRenegades. Pretty much every single stream I've been talking up the McRenegades. But tonight, I must admit, I did tip the McScorchers. Because as I said in the pre-game, I want to believe in the Renegades, but I've just been hurt so many times in the past by other teams. False dawns and all that. Beautiful delivery there from Richardson. Nice shape back into the batsman, and it's through the gate, but over the top of the stumps. This is some beautiful bowling. 4 for 40. Spores just stands and delivers, or attempts to anyway, at that one. Along the ground to mid-on, didn't get hold of it. No run. Damien Fleming and Brad Hodge. Wow. Father Time catches all of us, huh? Spores, it was right in the slot. And finally, they get a bad delivery. And Spores has dispatched it to the boundary. That is probably the best shot of the night. A half volley. Down to the boundary it goes. World of Enzo. Ahoy there. Renegades grand final. Soon. Three deliveries left here in this over. Just bunted down for one. Doing very well, thank you, World of Enzo. Was all geared up for a blockbuster of a contest. The Scorchers have got some work to do. Well, that's gone straight up in the air from Connolly. Should be caught. Will be. Oh, he's dropped it! You can't believe it. The bowler, I don't think he's happy. Oh, did it hit the roof? And he's hurt his finger here. He's copped a stinger on the edge of the finger. Now, did this deflect off the roof? Connolly, it's gone straight up in the air. I can't see the ball there on that replay. Back down it comes to the bowler. Should have been taken regardless. Well, I mean, if it's hit the roof, it's a 6. If it's hit the roof, it's a 6. And whatever happens beyond that is irrelevant. But still, that was straight up in the air. I didn't see it hit the roof. And poor old Richardson. He's copped a stinger there as that one came back down. The ball has officially hit the roof. So they've changed the rule about the roof being 6, which is a bit weird. So it's just a single. Two deliveries left for Richardson, who's now got his finger bandaged up. And this is beautifully driven, but also amazing fielding on the boundary, saving the 4. So Jordan says it's a dead ball. If it's projected to go for a 6, then it is a 6. Yeah, well, that certainly wasn't going for 6. It was straight up in the air. Well, I mean, that's a good thing, right? We've got the technology now. The technology exists to somewhat accurately predict such things, so I think that's fair. It did go straight up in the air. Literally straight up in the air. It was never going to be a 6. Second half says they should play on the roof. It would be a better surface. Rooftop cricket. Now there's a thing. Rooftop cricket. Pitch is atrocious. I'm starting to notice a theme in the chat room of everybody being frustrated by the pitch. Well, this is what I was talking about. I did say at the top of the stream, yes, the Perth Scorchers are making very, very hard work of this, but we've learnt by covering enough cricket games in the past and the BBL 14 thus far, you don't judge a pitch until both teams are batted. So who knows? I mean, we could get to the end of the night and 448 is a very good score. You never know. You just don't know until both teams have gone out there and shown what they can do. That is both the beauty and the frustration of cricket, isn't it? Even a T20 is a long game. A game of 2 halves. Oh, God. All right, now I need that TV remote that I dropped because Pawn Stars is on and I've got to change channels. Not that I have a problem with Pawn Stars. Chumley cracks me up every single time. But I want to watch the cricket. Michelle says there's also external factors to the wicket or to the ground in general. They've had a few stadium concerts there. Oh yeah, of course, Marvel Stadium, a big concert venue as well. Did Kiss play Marvel Stadium with Motley Crue? If they did, then I mean, I went and saw them, so I should know where I went, but we all know what I'm like. I don't remember. Jaden asks if the Scorchers are still a chance. Yeah, well, that's what I was just talking about, Jaden. The beauty of cricket, the frustration of cricket as well, of course, is both teams have got a bat and bowl on the same pitch, right? And we'll see. Maybe the Renegades won't do any better when it's their turn to bat. Bluey, 1996. Ahoy there, mate. Up the Gades. The Gades. Why does the Gades... thought about a cheeky run there. Connolly had to race back into his ground at the non-striker's end. Mitchell Vella Sport says, you look like Chumley. Out. Get out. Right now, sir. How dare you? I take offense to that. No, not really. Ball for 49, 10.4 overs gone. 2 deliveries left here in O'Neill's last over. And this one's been guided over the square leg boundary for 6. The third 6 of the innings. I'm pretty sure they haven't hit that many. Spores just guides it over, uses the angle, and sends it over the fence. A much needed 6 for the Scorchers. Four for 55. They've cracked the 50. And that's gone straight up in the air and over the top of the bowler. Lands safely. Well, they get away with one there. The Scorchers. Mitchell Vella, I was only joking. I hope he's still there. I was legitimately only joking, but he's gone quiet. Ever since I told him to get out, he's not commented again. I hope I haven't scared him off. Defunk says, glad I cashed out now. 3 6s is too close to 6.5. Yeah, well, especially because the power surge is still to come, so there might be 1 or 2 more. That's good, Mitchell, because I'm sure you knew I was only kidding anyway. One would hope by now a long time follower knows when I'm just mucking around. 4 for 56, 11 overs gone. Zampa back into the attack. Floats it up. A full toss is not dealt with. Spores has left that one out there unpunished from Adam Zampa, who's probably been, and it's not like he's bowled ridiculously poorly or anything, but Zampa, probably the worst of the bowlers so far. Which is crazy to think of. Oh, I'm pretty sure there's been 3 6s. Let's have a look. I mean, you could be right. Mitchell Vella Sport. I feel like there's been 3. Let's have a look. Scorecard. There has only been 2. Well, there you go. Oh, yeah. I'm still... yeah, sorry. Numbnuts here is still thinking that hitting the roof is 6. Hitting the roof is not immediately 6 anymore. That's where I've confused myself. Cooper Connolly hit the roof. It used to be an immediate 6. So yes, there has only been 2. Zampa with a much better over this time, apart from that full toss to start with. Just 2 from the over so far. Oh, the real Slim Shady looking determined here to finish the over well, and he does. A dot ball diving back in at the non-strikers end. Cooper Connolly again. Just finding himself a little bit in no man's land down the pitch. 4 for 58. 12 overs gone. They've got to start thinking about the power surge now. Time is running out. Time is getting away. And the Melbourne Renegades, well and truly on top. Let's have a look at the odds of blown out for the Perth Scorchers. That's for certain. And let's see. It could be even worse now. I know. It's just hung around the 375 mark for the Scorchers. The Renegades have just come in slightly. $1.26 favourites to win. Obviously, the way that it's been going. But the Perth Scorchers, as we keep saying, and we always go back to it, do not judge a pitch until both teams are battered. The Perth Scorchers have got a quality bowling attack themselves. This will not be a simple run chase, irrespective of the score. $110 wins it, says the second half. And I think, honestly, 12.2 overs gone, 4 for 59. The Scorchers would be very happy with 110. In all honesty. Anything above that would be a huge bonus. There was a half volley down the leg side. Should be dealt with and will it race to the boundary? Well fielded, but they should come back for 3. They considered coming back for the 4th run. But 3 runs, very slow on the outfield. We fan of games. Any hot tips for the game winner? Oh, I'm still sticking with the Scorchers. This might be controversial. I mean, I love what the Renegades have done. I love the Renegades recruitment, and I think they will feature heavily in finals time for BBL 14. Swing and a miss here. Runs are very hard to come by. The Scorchers have got an amazing bowling attack. This game's far from over. And I mean, you guys know, anyone who's joined the Wasted World of Sports on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook Live, wherever you've joined us from in the past, you'll know that I do not fluff about. I tell it how it is. If a game's over, I've got no advertising revenue that I need to consider, like the TV commentators. TV commentators are not allowed to tell you that a game's over, even when it clearly is. They've got off to a rough start here, the Scorchers, but this pitch, this bowling lineup the bowling lineup for both sides, immense. This game is not necessarily over. They've still got to do the job with the bat, though, the Scorchers, and Connolly puts it high in the air and straight down the long on boundary for 6. Cooper Connolly moves to 24 off 32. And it's 4 for 68. G Cricket 858, thank you very much for the follow. Wasted World of Sports, of course, live all through the year, covering the NRL, covering Super Rugby, covering the internationals, covering the Big Bash, and T20 internationals as we see fit for the cricket throughout the course of the year. Live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on TikTok. Thank you very much for your company here. Whichever platform you're joining us from, all very much appreciated. 4 for 68, the Scorchers. Just starting to get a move along now. 13 overs gone. When will they pull the trigger on the power surge? Spores on strike. Rogers back into the attack. 2 overs, 1 for 8. Mitchell Vella Sport is asking, will I be doing any of the games on Boxing Day? Certainly will be. I'd say it's likely. If I'm alive, I'll be here. Four for 68, 13.1 overs gone. Rogers, half volley, pulled away. They'll get 1, they'll push for 2, and they just settle for 1. There we go. Adam Zampa over pitching. Whether he's doing that on purpose or not, 59% of Zampa's deliveries have been over pitched. GC Cricket. Ahoy there, mate. Over on YouTube now as well. Welcome along. Over on the YouTube. Rogers with his third delivery. Just bunted down, racing through for a quick single. The throw is a direct hit to the non-striker's end. He should be safe, but please, for the love of God, tell me that he put his bat down. Tommy Lobb, ahoy, mate. A direct hit usually makes things interesting. But if he gets lazy here, Connolly, and doesn't put his bat down, let's have a look. He does put his bat down. Liam, ahoy there, mate. Slightly new setup, yeah. I figured since we're doing the cricket, I should ditch the rugby league stadium in the background and replace it with a cricket stadium. And the general consensus from TikTok was that the ball-by-ball commentary that I have on the YouTube screen works for YouTube, but it's a little bit of an eyesore on TikTok. As this one is top-edged over the keeper, and it lands safely. 3 Renegades were charging in at that one, but it falls safe. And they come through for 2 runs. They come back for a second. So, yeah, the ball-by-ball, considering that I talk about pretty much every delivery anyway, it makes sense that we probably don't need it. So I've gone for just the current batsman. So I figure on TikTok, cricket stadium for the cricket games, face cam, scoreboard, current batters, and we're done. Played away square for 6, just lifted off the pads. And that is another 6. Well, now it's 3 sixes, right? Spores has finally got his eye in, and they might well consider the power surge now. The power surge may be happening in the next over. Connolly still, despite the fact that Connolly has 25 runs now, or 33 deliveries out there, doesn't look really set, but Spores is starting to get a move along, and he could be the key. Oh, 6. 6, 6. The number of the beast. Sorry, I can't sing. That's why I commentate on sports, because I'm not a singer. That would have been my other option, though, doing musical covers. I still could, I suppose. I mean, I wonder if there's a market for really, really terrible vocal covers of songs like there used to be. 4 for 78 at the end of the over. The Scorchers, 6 overs remaining. So if they go for 6 and over here, so what's that, 36 runs? I'm trying to do the math in my head here. 6 overs left, 6 and over is 36 runs, which gets them up to around the 110 plus mark, which is at least something to bowl at. Join Brett Lee in 6 and out. You know what? Actually, 6 and out literally just performed a couple of nights ago, I'm certain, after the Brisbane... Well, last night it might have been. Last night, I think it might have been... oh, no. I'm probably mistaken about that. Anyway, regardless of when it was, regardless of what night it was, 6 and out, they just played here in Brisbane. I thought that was... yeah, that would have been funny to go to. 4 for 80, Zampa back into the attack. Zampa just drops this one in, turned away for 1. Down 2, deep mid-wicket. Did have Nathan, ahoy there, mate. Nathan, I did have a multi on, and it failed in the first leg. Keaton Jennings for 10 plus runs, and Keaton Jennings got out for 9, would you believe? Thank you very much for the heart, Liam. Cheers. Very much appreciate that. Zampa in again. Dot ball. So Spores is 27 from 23. Connolly's 28 from 35. 14.3 overs gone. The surge is surely beckoning. It will be right around the corner. Cut away. Just the single. Down to point. Four for 82. If they can manufacture a huge power surge here, watch those odds change. Seriously. Connolly off the legs, pushing for the second. Just the one. Well fielded there in the deep. So the Scorchers have blown out at one point way over $3. They were up to like $3.40, $3.50 at one point. The Renegades had dropped down at one point to $1.26 favourites. It's just starting to creep back now. $1.38 favourites, the Renegades. The Scorchers have come down to $3. And a big power surge, right? I mean, this game is not over by any stretch of the imagination. Captain Kick Ho says, up the Gades. End of the over, 4 for 83. 4 for 84, 15 gone. All right, I'll have a quick break. Be right back. The power surge has been called. Right on cue. Well, here we go. These are now the critical overs. If the Scorchers are going to set any sort of total and have any kind of chance in this game, these are the overs. Half volley on the legs. Taken, plucked out of the air with one hand. A glorious catch on the circle. Mid-wicket has come up with an absolute blinder here. What a start to the power surge. Well, I had just been talking about how the surge will be the key overs, and the Renegades have just won a huge moment there. Perfectly timed leap. One arm catch, or one hand catch. Falling backwards. And that is a huge wicket and a huge moment. The very first delivery of the surge. And Spores, the man who looked most comfortable, to be perfectly honest. Even though Connolly's been out there for 10 more deliveries, Spores was looking like the batsman that was going to get the job done for the Scorchers. And he is back in the dugout after the first delivery. What a catch. What a moment. Liam says if the Renegades are destroying the Scorchers, imagine what they could do to the Stars. Oh, the poor old Melbourne Stars at the moment. Yikes. Yeah, the Stars are not in a good way. What a start to the power surge. A wicket off the first delivery, and that is definitely one for the classic catches highlight reel. Hobson to the crease, but Cooper Connolly, he becomes the key here, and that's kind of scary for the Scorchers because he is not really, despite the fact he has survived and he's there 29 of 36, I'm not convinced at all that he has got himself really settled here. Well, we might be about to find out. Hobson guides it away for one. And Connolly on strike. Connolly is the key now. 5 for 85, 15.2 gone. Just the one run and a wicket off the opening two balls of the surge. These are the key overs as a wave goes out around Marvel Stadium. Richardson, a half volley, slower ball, and it's completely swung and missed by Connolly. And this is what I was talking about. He is just not, he's not set. He's not comfortable, despite 29 from 37. He is just not comfortable out there. This is a concern now for the Scorchers. They are starting to officially waste their surge overs in the block hole. Pushed away for one. The pressure is now mounting. This game turns once again hugely in favor of the Renegades. Five for 86, 110 plus will be at least something to bowl at on this pitch with the Scorchers bowling attack and this wicket. Richardson with two deliveries left, chopped away from Hobson. They push for one. Quick single taken well. And cheers. Oh, of course, Liam. I was not going to forget. Cheers made for the TikTok and the football. Very much appreciate it, mate. Three runs and a wicket off this so far. They need a boundary, and there it is, pulled away. Connolly finally gets hold of one. Over the square leg boundary for 6. Cooper Connolly, that's his best hit of the night. And boy, did they need that. 9 from the over and a wicket. One more power surge over left. They've got to take maximum value out of these. Yes, indeed, Liam. I believe so, anyway. I must plead ignorance somewhat as to how TikTok works, but I'm fairly certain that it does. Sending the, whatever those things are, the hearts and the footballs and whatnot on TikTok. I'm pretty sure that is what that means. And so thank you. Cheers. Through cover for one to start the second over. Not the second over overall. The second over of this power surge. 5 for 94. Well, it looks like they're going to get to the 100, which was key. At one point there, it seemed like they might struggle to even get to 100, the Scorchers. So they've just recovered and given themselves something to bowl at. Full toss. Just punched away for one. Down to mid-off. Five for 95. Connolly, 37 or 40, but looking far from comfortable. 125 should make a good game, says D-Funk. And if they go 8 and over from here on in, they will get that. And that would be, I think, honestly, anything over 110, the Scorchers will be thrilled. Got it away for 4, Hobson. Just open the face of the bat. Beats third man for 4, or short third man. Gets the boundary. $125, says D-Funk, and I agree with that. 125 would be a godsend for this Perth Scorchers team. And they'd probably back themselves to defend that on this pitch. The bowlers, as this is wide, outside of stump, well wide, and it is called as such. And the 100 is up. When it looked unlikely at one point, the 100 is up for the Scorchers. Sutherland puts it on the legs. Big appeal, beats the fielder, races away. Won't go to the boundary, but they'll come back for another couple. And they've turned a 1 into 3 there off the misfield. And this over has just been a little bit of a... Oh, I mean, I don't want to say that it's been a bad one for the Renegades, but they've just gotten a little bit sloppy here. A misfield. Down at fine leg. Turned a 1 into a 3 there. Three leg pies. 10 from this over. This was critical for the Scorchers. Well, they've called the review, have they? Wait just a minute. There was an appeal for LBW from the bowler, but the bowler was literally the only one interested. And it seems like they've called the review. DRS time. Well, here we go. Well, it was outside leg, surely. Ball, outside leg, forget about it. No edge. Big gap between bat and ball. Hits the pad. First impact is with the pad. But this is pitched a mile outside leg stump. I think even the bowler's gone back to his crease here. Back to his mark, sorry. The bowler who called the DRS review has even wandered back to his mark. So it's pitched a mile outside leg, so that's the end of it. What an interesting review. Straight out of the Shane Watson School of Reviews, that one. That's how bad that was. Shane Watson would be so proud right now. 5 for 103. That was a gigantic waste of time. Connolly's on strike. 2 deliveries left in the surge. Well bowled there, full. Outside off. Swing and a miss. Jason Hayden says he should get a fine for that, for wasting everybody's time. I agree. Wasted, like, just absolute bollocks DRS review calls should be a match fee fine. Cut away from Connolly, beats the circle, racing out to the outfield, well fielded. They'll push for 3. But the 4 was saved. 13 off the over. The surge is over. 5 for 106. 3 overs to go. And the Scorchers have recovered to give themselves a score here. 3 overs to go. At least 6 and over. If they can go for it, of course. They've still got to get it first. 6 and over, if they can get it, is 18 more runs. That gets them 124, which I think the way that they started and the way that this pitch has been playing, and as hard going as it's been, 124 will be a very difficult run chase, you would think. Jordan Telfer King, ahoy there. You're watching on TikTok and YouTube. Oh, doing double duty, Jordan. I'll drink to that, sir. Cheers. Boxing Day, Sydney Sixers versus the Melbourne Stars, Perth Scorchers versus the Brisbane Heat. That's going to be a good one. All right, the ramp shot from Connolly. 1 bouncing over the rope. Richardson back into the bowling attack. And he's ramped it over and he's starting to look like he's set now. Cooper Connolly. He's clearly the key. It took a long time for him to be set. But he is very much the key now to this innings for the Scorchers. Half volley. They're going to push for 2 here, out to mid-wicket. And the throw back to the keeper is just skidded on. And Seifert, he's copped that one, I think, in the chest. I think you're safe, Jason. I don't think that they will get 170 from here. Even at 10 and over, they only get up to 139. Slashing at this one outside off. Just down for the single. Jordan says next stream that Michelle's on, we should make her newsfeed snooker. My favourite all-time snooker player, John Higgins. Cheers to John Higgins. Seven from the over so far. Connolly goes for it. Straight up in the air. Will it beat the circle? It does. Just. Big Josh Brown. Racing backwards. Can't get hold of it. Connolly goes to 47 or 45. The first time in his innings that his score has gone above his balls faced. 5 for 114. They've made a game of it, at least, the Scorchers, after a very, very slow and disastrous start. Connolly, looking for his 50, just lifts this over the offside boundary. Over extra cover for 6, and he gets his 50. Cooper Connolly takes the Scorchers to 5 for 120. And suddenly, on this pitch, with their bowling attack, they have got a goddamn score. It is game on. I am so curious to see the odds at the innings break. Fallen outside off, and he's done it again. Back-to-back sixes. Over cover for 6. Back-to-back sixes. And Cooper Connolly, well, he looked so uncomfortable. He looked like he couldn't buy a run, despite the fact that he'd been out there for so long. He didn't look comfortable at all, and suddenly he has just turned it on here, Youngblood. Cooper, Youngblood, Connolly taking time off from touring to come and play the BBL. And he's putting on a show now, 59 or 47. And they've got to get him on strike. 2 overs remain. Hobson just needs to punch singles and put Youngblood back on strike. 5 for 126. Setter, I hope I'm saying that right. Setter Flag Blues. Thank you very much for the high December. Hobson goes for it. Top edge into the outfield. They converge on it and take the catch. Will Sutherland takes the wicket. The partnership is broken. 6 for 126. But Cooper Connolly is still out there. Still out there for the Scorchers. That is the key for them. Setter Flag Blues or Cheddar Flag Blues. I'm trying to think what the pronunciation might be. Setter Flag Blues. Thank you very much for the follow, and of course, thank you very much for the high December. Ashton Agar out to the crease now for the Scorchers. 6 for 126. Agar will be on strike. Scorchers down to $2.30. Defunct got on them at $3. Slower delivery. Agar fends it back. No run. Time pressure as well. Let's keep an eye on that as well. The Renegades not getting through their overs. They're an over behind, and that is going to wreak havoc. They've got to race through this and try and catch up. Down to long off, just a single. A wicket and a run off this over so far. 6 for 127. And I've got to say, we were talking about 110. At one point there, 110 was all our conversation. They've lifted themselves to a 6 for 127. They have recovered very well here, the Scorchers. Connolly down on one knee. Looking to chop it into the offside, but gets the under edge onto the leg side for one. Six for 128. Two deliveries left here. Rogers just hammered back down the ground for very little reward. They come back for a second. Hits the stumps. Setter Flag Blues asks if we do Supercoach. We do. We're running a Waste of Water Sports tipping contest at the moment on tipping.cricket.com.au, which is free to join. We're not doing Supercoach for the BBL. We will be doing Supercoach for the NRL next year. Agar goes high, picks out the man at long off, and another wicket down. 7 for 130. 2 wickets and 4 runs from that over. That was a good one from the Renegades. So for those of you joining us, if you are registered already on tipping.cricket.com.au and you would like to join our league, just head to the leagues and search Wasted World of Sports, and we will be there. Last over to come, Connolly. Importantly, we'll have a strike. Adam Zampa will be bowling it. This could go either way here. 130, they could still get 150, and that would be immense. And Adam Zampa, he's been tossing up pies all night. A half volley driven down the ground. And a 6 to start. A 6 to start with here. It goes again, Connolly. Slightly off the top edge. This won't have enough to make it over the fence, and it's caught. Harvey takes the catch. Connolly's on his way. A big wicket. 8 for 136. Zampa, though, he floated it up again. He has been bowling really poorly tonight. He gets the wicket here, gets away with it. But Adam Zampa tossing up meat pies all night long. $66 or $50 though. Connolly, take a bow. He's done well. Andrew Ty, he will have to do the job with the ball. But can he finish off this innings with the bat? And just throw up some more runs here. Just played away for one. They might push for a second. They do. Ah, that's poor fielding, really. Really poor fielding, to be honest. That long off there. Should never have been two. Down the pitch, Ty goes for it, gets the top edge. And on the rope, thrown back in, but Harvey slips on the turf. Can't make the second effort at the grab, but he has done amazingly well there to save the 6. Marching down the pitch, Ty Harvey leaps from in the field, throws it back, and then slips on the turf. Otherwise, it would have been a catch. What an effort, though, to save the 6. Two balls left here. 8 for 140. Drifting onto the legs. A leg by onto the onside. 8 for 140. I'm telling you, the Scorchers, they'll take this. They will very happily take this. Well and truly something to bowl at here. And with their bowling attack, this will be a difficult run chase. Kelly charges. They'll push for 2. They have to come back for the second. Going to the keeper's end with the throw for some reason. And the Scorchers finish this innings 8 for 143. They have recovered nicely. They have made a game of it at least. This run chase on this pitch with the Scorchers bowling attack is certainly far from a given. It's game on here. I can't wait to see what these odds are. These odds at the halftime break will make for some very interesting viewing, because I dare say the Scorchers have just come in a bit, and they have. The Renegades at one point were $1.26 favourites, and the Scorchers had blown out to $3.75. As it stands right now in the innings break, the Scorchers are $2.40. The Renegades still favourites at $1.55. But boy, could that change quickly with some early wickets. 8 for 143. They've recovered well. I mean, that is just the Perth Scorchers doing what the Perth Scorchers do. And recovering from a bad situation to give themselves at least something to play at. It's game on here. The Renegades versus the Scorchers. Now, we need to consider what to do for our multi here. Now, having seen the way that the pitch is playing, that does change things a little bit as well. So let's go Let's suss out. Excuse me. Let's suss out what we can do here. Same game multi. Well, I definitely want big Josh Brown for a 6. I mean, whenever I'm betting on the Renegades and Josh Brown is playing, I am putting big Josh Brown for a 6. Jordan says, can you do a Boxing Day NBA stream? Ask Michelle. Because if there's ever going to be NBA on the Waste of Water Sports channel, that's going to be her baby. So let's start. Josh Brown for 6. XJC, ahoy, mate. How are you, buddy? Okay. And I suppose if I'm putting Josh Brown in for a 6, Josh Brown for 10 as well. XJC, you're staying at your grandparents' house in Sandstone Point for the week and then heading to Harvey Bay. Very nice. Certainly hope you're enjoying yourself there, sir. Picked up the wrong cup. All right. So let's go. Perth Scorchers bowling attack. Jai Richardson, Jason Berendorf, Lance Morris, Ashton Agar, actually. Ashton Agar. A slow, difficult to play wicket. Let's go Ashton Agar for a wicket and Jai Richardson. So that'll be our 2 wicket takers here for this leg of the multi. Ashton Agar for a wicket. And who did I say? Jason Berendorf or Andrew Ty? Andrew Ty. I might come to regret that decision. I said Jason Berendorf, did I? Okay. I've changed my mind. We've gone Andrew Ty. Andrew Ty and Ashton Agar. And for the Renegades, big Josh Brown to hit a 6. And let's go for Fraser McGurk as well. Fraser McGurk, who's let us down to start the BBL 14. Ah! Excuse me. Yes, I'm okay. I'm all right. It was just a sneeze. I'm not dying. It's all good. Ahoy there, Will. How are you, mate? Will over on TikTok. Fraser McGurk or Seifert. Seifert might be a safer bet, actually. But then again, I'm concerned about the wickets. I might come to rue this choice no matter which way I go. Whoa. Alara, what happened to your head? Or should I just throw everything on Josh Brown? Well, we're definitely going Josh Brown to hit a 6. Let's lock that part of it in. Josh Brown to hit a 6. That's happening. That's as close as a guarantee as I can give you for anything ever. Big Josh Brown to hit a 6. Fraser McGurk or Seifert. Ooh. Let's go. Oh, Seifert. All right, let's go Fraser McGurk and see if I've let myself down. Fraser McGurk. Harry Hutchinson. Ahoy there, mate. Where do you see Wests coming next year? Top 8. 7th or 8th, I reckon. Yep. Anyone who thinks that the Tigers are getting the wooden spoon again are absolutely mental. It's not happening. They will be fighting for the playoffs. I've got them finishing 7th or 8th. They might not. It's going to be very tight this year. It's going to be the closest. I think 2025 NRL is going to be the closest competition that we've had in a very long time. The battle for that sort of 6th through to 10th, 6th through to 10, it's going to be so tight. And I'm talking like they'll probably all end the season on equal points, and it will be for and against that comes into play. But I'm backing Jerome Luai to steer the ship. Lockie Galvin is one of the best up-and-coming youngsters in the entire competition, and that Galvin-Luai partnership is going to be immense, and they're going to take a lot of teams by surprise. Anybody who thinks that the Tigers are getting the wooden spoon again in 2025 just don't understand footy. It's as simple as that. Gurpreet G says it will not be an easy chase. Absolutely. I mean, we said 110. 110 was going to make this interesting. Well, they've done more than that. They've ended up with 143. They've probably, I mean, they might have ended up with about 20 or so runs too many. I mean, that being said, I do like what the Renegades have done. They've recruited well. They've got a very strong-looking squad. And I think that they will certainly feature in the finals for BBL 14. But they really did let this slip. Connolly saved them indeed. Cooper Connolly. It took him a long time to get his eye in. But when he did, he just went ballistic. All right, so let's finish this. Let's finish this multi. So, I have gone Ashton Agar, to take a wicket. Andrew Ty to take a wicket. Big Josh Brown to hit a 6. And Fraser McGurk. +10 runs. So there we go. Ashton Agar, wicket. Andrew Ty, wicket. Josh Brown to hit a 6. Fraser McGurk, 10+ runs. Lock it in. Defunk says Titans for the spoon. Controversial opinion. Defunk, I think the Raiders take the spoon. 2025, quite honestly. Titans will be down there as well, don't get me wrong. Titans will certainly be in the battle for the spoon. But I think the Raiders get it. Raiders were extremely lucky in 2024 to be on the precipice of finals footy. They definitely played above themselves. They being the Raiders, they played above themselves. And fair credit to them, fair play to them. I don't want to take anything away from what they achieved in 2024, but they punched well above their weight. And I think they do actually cop the spoon this year, as other teams who did unexpectedly poorly in 2024 through injuries or whatever happened to them, such as the Eels and the Bunnies. The Eels and the Bunnies aren't finishing under the Raiders in 2025. The Tigers are on the improve. Everybody's just on the improve. The Raiders, though, are going to be exactly the same. Not to mention the fact that the Raiders, 5 games that they won, where the opposition scored more tries than they did. Now, it's unusual that you get one of those in a season. Maybe one. Certainly not very often do you get 2 of those games a season. They got 5. 5 times they came up against a team who left their kicking boots at home. That just doesn't happen. Well, I mean, it clearly does because it did. But you know what I mean? It's a rarity that happens. That was 5 wins, 10 competition points that they had no right to. And they only finished 3 wins off that bottom 3 in this season. So take all that into account. I think they're pretty clear-cut wooden spooners in 2025. As much as Raiders supporters will continue to hate me for saying so, but I think it's going to be a rough year for them. They're not going to get that amount of luck 2 years running. Eight for 143. The Scorchers recovered extremely well here, and they've given themselves something to bowl at. So that's the multi that I've gone for here in this second innings. Ashton Agar, anytime wicket taker. Andrew Ty, anytime wicket taker. Josh Brown to hit a 6, and Fraser McGurk to get 10 plus runs. Lawson Daniels. One thing I will always say about the Raiders, though, is Ricky Stewart is a coach that is extremely capable of getting the best out of the worst, if that makes sense. Ricky Stewart is a great man manager. He's great at playing the underdog. So the fact that I have said that the Raiders are odds on for the wooden spoon in 2025, that's the sort of thing that Ricky Stewart is able to take and use as motivation and just get an incredible lift out of his players. He really is a great man motivator. But I just think they need more than that in 2025. All the other teams around them are improving as well. Especially with Uncle Wayne coming in. Uncle Wayne to take over the Rabbitohs. Cameron Murray returning from... not Cameron Murray, sorry. Campbell Graham returning from injury. All these teams around them are improving. And, I mean, sorry, Raiders supporters, but there's just nowhere but down from here. Ashton Agar, Andrew Ty, Josh Brown, and Fraser McGurk. Let's see. Marcus Rogers, ahoy there, mate. Welcome along. 8 for 143. The Scorchers, they might have just ended up with 20 or so runs more than they needed here. This is going to be a very difficult chase. Harvey's catch was probably One of the best, well, it's certainly the best I've seen in BBL so far. BBL 14. And then he nearly did it again on the boundary, right? If he doesn't slip in the turf, he's taken a miracle catch on the boundary. But that is definitely going in the classic catches highlight reel, that one. All right, I better have a quick break before this run chase commences. Waste to Water Sports, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, and we're also on Facebook. Not live tonight on Facebook, but we are on it to give you your sporting fix, covering the NRL, covering Super Rugby, all the internationals, and T20 cricket. I'll have a quick break, and we'll be right back for this run chase. The Melbourne Renegades, the much improved Melbourne Renegades. Can they chase this down, or have the Scorchers on the back of Cooper Connolly recovered and got themselves more than enough to bowl at here? We're about to find out right after this on the Waste of Water Sports. The oval looks very, very bad indeed, Marcus. And so that is certainly changed the concept about a good score. Yep, Marvel Stadium is definitely the one that I went to see Kiss and Motley Crue. I recognize that setting. Right on the water's edge there. TTV. Itchy. Come on, Perth. Josh Brown, there he is. We need him for a 6. The run chase about to commence. 143 they recovered so well, did the Scorchers. Stamping their championship credentials. But the Renegades, they're here to make a statement. As Jason Behrendorff. The ground is awful. The ground is awful. I mean, having a batsman slide his bat. You are taught to slide your bat. A batsman to slide his bat and it just jams into the grass and gets stuck. And he gets himself run out. That was a gift wicket for the Renegades. But no problem with it because the fielder was still good enough to hit the stumps directly. If you're good enough to hit the stumps directly like that, there can't be too many arguments about the wicket. Now Josh Brown goes after the first ball, picks out the gap, and it's racing over the outfield for 4. Well, what a start. Big Josh Brown and the Renegades. And the outfield showing a lot more pace than we saw, quite honestly, from the Scorchers batting. Quite frankly, that raced away over the outfield, and we just didn't see that when the Scorchers were batting. It was very, very slow out there. And the Renegades have started with a boundary. What a start for them. Nice in-swinging Yorker, but it's played away by Brown for another 4. Well, the big fella's off to a great start. It's pulling up in the outfield. Well saved in the outfield. They'll come back for a 3rd. But Josh Brown, the big fella, he hasn't hit a 6 yet, but boy, he is hitting them out of the middle of the bat. None for 7 off the first 2 balls. And big Josh Brown is basically saying to the rest of the players out there, like, what? Difficult pitch to bat on? What are you talking about? Hey, you, built different. Ahoy there, mate. Josh Brown played at my local cricket, Pine Rivers Cricket Club. Very nice. As a Brisbane Heat supporter, I became a big fan of Josh Brown. I'm very, very upset to see him gone. Lost to the Melbourne Renegades as Fraser McGurk just slaps this one back down the pitch for no run. Thank you very much for the follow, AU Built Different, over there on TikTok. Fraser McGurk. Straight bats it down the ground. Into the gap, but it won't make the fence. They'll come back for a second. And this has been a good start for the Renegades run chase. They started well with the ball, and now they've started well with the bat. None for 9. 135 of 116. And the Scorchers starting with around 2 or 3 runs and over. The Renegades are definitely on top here at the moment. Full delivery, angling back in. Turned away, no run. Can't beat the circle. Better delivery, that one from Berendorf. Final delivery of the first over. It's wide outside off. Fraser McGurk goes after it. It's up in the air. It's straight up in the air. And Andrew Ty down at long off gets himself under it. And Fraser McGurk is gone. And there with it goes my multi. Fraser McGurk fails again. And the Scorchers with a big breakthrough. 1 for 9 after 1. Oh, this run chase is far, far from a given. The batsmen, apart from Josh Brown, are struggling out there. And Fraser McGurk, 2 runs or 4 balls. And he hauls out. 1 for 9 off the first over. A first over that had everything. Oh, it's game on. It's game on. Well, we said after the Scorchers recovered and they put a more than defendable total on the board, we said don't go anywhere. This will not be a given. And I tell you what, look at these odds start to close up. At one point there, the Renegades dropped to 126 favourites and the Scorchers blew out to $3.75. At the moment, the Renegades have drifted to 168 and the Scorchers have closed up to $2.15. And this could be the key partnership here. Obviously, plenty of banning still to come for the Renegades, but this is a big partnership. Seifert and Brown. Brown on strike. Just bunts this one down to the offside. Square of the wicket for 1. 1 for 10 after the first over. It's game on here. Jason Hayden, before that though, Travis Wilkins says up the gates. Jason Hayden says all the talk. He is a good player. He can't even score more than 10 runs. Sometimes it happens though. I still think Fraser McGurk is a good player overall, but he's clearly struggling at the moment. That happens sometimes, right? You go through a rut, and he's definitely going through a rut at the moment. 1 for 10, 1.1. Kelly bowling for the Scorchers. Swing and a miss by Seifert outside off, and this is what we've been seeing. The batsman struggling to get to the pace of the ball. And he was through this way too late. Seifert. Big air swing outside off stump. This is going to be a big finish. You can feel it. It's got all the makings. Outside of stump, cut away. Seifert uppishly played, but through the gap, and that's 4. That raced away. He got every single piece of that. And this is the difference between the two teams at the moment. The Scorchers found it very difficult going. Very slow going to start with. The Renegades finding the boundary a little bit more freely to start, but that was a big wicket. And now Seifert chips it over the top of the infield. Just a few meters enough on that hit. It was up in the air and it was dangerous. I think this is the key partnership, Jason. If these two get in and they could win it on their own, basically. But if these two get in and knock off a majority of the runs, advantage Renegades. If the Scorchers can rip through 1 or 2 of these, as Brown just stands and delivers down the ground to long off for 4. Well, there he is. That's what he does. Big Josh Brown. Drives it down for 4, standing and delivering as easy as you like. And Josh Brown is looking very comfortable. The only batsman so far, I must say, that from ball 1 has looked more than comfortable here on this wicket. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. Who is a cheeky monkey out of your friends Travis and Charlie? Oh, clearly Charlie. Charlie is the cheekiest monkey of cheeky monkey names that I've ever heard in my life. It has to be Charlie, right? Behrendorff back into the attack. A dot ball to start. Seifert. And this becomes a key partnership. 1 for 19, the Renegades on the chase. 2.1 overs gone. Big swing and a miss from Seifert. Oh, this is incredible. I'm telling you, Josh Brown holds the key. Defunk. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. Seifert goes the ramp. Didn't get all of it, but he gets enough of it. And Seifert puts it over the keeper's head for 4, and the boundaries continue to flow for the Renegades, whereas they weren't for the Scorchers. Ollie is the best, says Reed, says ahoy. Ahoy, Reed. And cheers. Behrendorff in again, and Seifert just flat bats this and swats it over the long on fence for 6. Oh, this is the key, all right. Seifert and Brown. Seifert and Brown, the key partnership. And we are only a few overs in, but already the Scorchers, they've got to separate these two. Absolutely spanked. 1 for 29, 2.4 gone. Berendorf, 2 deliveries left. That's better. Fallen on the stumps, but it's outside edged away for 4. Well, that's unlucky. That is unlucky there. It was a beautiful delivery. Drew the outside edge, but of course, T20 cricket, no slip cordon, and it races away for 4. And I swear that this outfield has picked up pace. The outfield has clearly picked up pace because we do not see any of the Scorchers hits into the outfield race over the boundary like that. 14 from the over so far. Berendorf, a single to finish. 1 for 34. The Renegades, 3 overs gone. Oh, they're well on top here. Well on top. Watch those odds blow out again. You get the feeling that this is a key partnership. But they definitely need wickets, the Scorchers. Charlie is shouting there's a party at his house. Oh, well, he's not a cheeky monkey. He's a very nice dude. Cheers to Charlie for shouting a party. Jason Hayden says they must have fixed the ground before they started batting. Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me. Top edge here from Seifert. Can it get over the infield? It does. It lands safely. And it bounces all the way to the boundary. It runs away. Well, this is a completely different outfield. This is now a completely different set of circumstances in the run chase. The top edge from Seifert, it beats the infield, and it hits the practice pitches, and it races away over the outfield. We did not see any of the Scorchers hits just fly over the outfield like this. It has clearly picked up pace. A boundary to start, and this partnership needs to be broken. Slapped away over the offside for 4. Well, this is starting to get depressing for the Scorchers. Seifert in full control for the Renegades. Back-to-back boundaries. And again, just look at that ball race over the outfield. Well, 140 might not be enough. This has been a game of 2 innings. A slow pitch, an even slower outfield has turned into a racetrack. Dancing down the pitch there, Seifert, a big swing and a miss. And yes, I'm not surprised. Jason, the Renegades paying 112 now for the win. They are well on top. 102 needed from 99 deliveries. The required run rate is already almost down to just 6 and over. It would take a monumental cock-up from here for the Renegades to lose. Seifert and Brown have got them off to the perfect start to this chase. What could have been a very, very difficult chase. And these two are making light work of it. Edge gone! Just like that, the commentator's curse strikes again, and that is a huge wicket of Seifert. 28 off 13, and he's gone. A big breakthrough. Well, that is the beauty of cricket. It can just swing in an instant. The commentator's curse runs roughshod in the cricket world, and once again, I hadn't even spat out the sentence that the Renegades are making light work of this when Seifert edges through to the keeper and they lose their second 2 for 42. That was a big, big breakthrough because the longer that those two stayed out there, obviously, the easier things were going to get for the Renegades. Look at what Cooper Connolly did for the Scorchers and Spores. That Connolly-Spores partnership, they got themselves set and the runs started to come. Wickets are obviously the key as Jacob Bethel now to the crease for the Renegades. Another couple of quick wickets and watch those odds swing. That's what I love about it. I'm fascinated by just following as I've said, sports trading over betting. I love my sports trades. I love watching these swings in the betting odds as Bethel just fends this one away to the offside for no run, and there's a little bit of a spring in the step now for the Scorchers fielders. 2 for 42. It's been a great start regardless for the Renegades. They definitely got the better of this opening power play. I mean, no matter what happens, they could lose another wicket here and they've still got the better of the power play. Killian, the last ball, and it's just fended away for no run. Despite those 2 wickets, they were 2 very big wickets as well. Fraser McGurk and then Seifert. But 42 runs. Going over 10 and over is well more than they needed. So the Renegades slightly on top. Wickets will be the key. This game has still got many twists and turns left, believe me. If the wickets continue to fall and the runs start to dry up, all right, let's do a social media post. Andrew Ty onto the bowling attack. A dot ball to start. .1 overs gone, 2 for 42, 102 needed off 95 deliveries. Whoa. Josh Brown holds the key here. Goes for it, Brown. Slightly off the outside edge. It's high. Racing back to take the catch. That is a massive wicket. That is a monster of a wicket. And Josh Brown now back to the dugout. Without hitting a 6, he has let me down. That is a massive wicket for the Scorchers. And here they come indeed, Jason. Here they come, 3 for 42. Josh Brown and Seifert back in the dugout. Massive wickets. Oh, watch those odds turn. As we'll be right back here on the Wasted World of Sports. I will take this opportunity of a wicket to have a quick break. Evans on strike, turns it away down the leg side. They come back for 2. That's well run. Yes, indeed. Let's suss out these odds. The Scorchers have dropped to $2, says Jason Hayden. Let's have a look what they are on my bookmaker. $2.40. Wow. Well, my bookie does not believe in the Scorchers. $2.40 is very generous. Actually, I'm going to throw a cheeky bet here. I'm throwing a cheeky bet on $2.40. That is a gift. I mean, they may still not win, of course. $2.40 is a joke. I'm taking that. Thank you very much. I'll put a cheeky $50 on that. Oh, a no ball and a free hit. Well, Andrew Ty, that's not what they want. That is not what they want at all. They've got the wicket, but 3 runs, or 4 runs from this over. And now a free hit. Can't be out. Tie to Bethel. Fallen on the leg stump and turned away for 4. Beautifully played by Bethel. A loose delivery from Ty deserved to be dispatched to the boundary. And he was. Well played, Bethel. Better delivery this one. Ty beats the outside edge. Slashing at that outside off. 3 for 50. So they're still just rampaging along at 10 and over here. The Renegades making light work of the run rate. But 3 wickets down. 10.34, the current 6 point something required. Last ball, Ty edged and dropped. It's been put down behind the stumps. It was a tough chance. Inglis should have taken it, though. It was a very tough chance, but it was in and out, and Inglis has hurt himself. That could have been a huge moment. Inglis drops the catch into the glove and out. A let off for the Renegades. 3 for 51. Although I think they came through for a single there, so it might be 3 for 52. 5 overs gone. Travelling along nicely, the Renegades, in terms of run rate. 93 needed off 90 deliveries. Oh, it should have been taken. Inglis, tough chance, but should have been taken. Got his mitts on it. Spores did well with the bat. He's now into the bowling attack. What can Spores come up with? Bethel gives himself room and pulls it away for 6. Well, honestly, the Renegades, I've talked about it a few times. They have recruited so well. They are so strong. Their batting lineup is so strong. Their bowling lineup is so strong. Bethel just rocks back and gives himself room and pulls that over the square leg fence for an easy 6. And the run rate required now has dropped under 6. And common sense just needs to be the order of the day now for the Renegades. They've done the hard work. 5.93. The required run rate has dropped under 6. And with a power surge in hand, 7 wickets still in the dugout, you get the feeling like they threw it all on the line in that opening 4 overs. It fell their way. And despite the wickets, they can just control this game from here. Common sense batting is all that's needed. Just push singles. There are singles everywhere. Down the ground at long on and long off. Square of the wicket on both sides. There are just singles everywhere, and that is now all they need. And honestly, it would take an almighty cock-up from here as Bethel decides to take it on for another 6. And Spores has been dispatched over the square leg boundary again. Welcome to BBL 14, Bethel, whoever you are. I've never heard of this guy before, but he is out there having a field day. Tough batting conditions. Not for him. 18 off 9. Now cut away. Can't beat the man there. They come through for a single. 15 from the over. Well, the Renegades are really making the Perth Scorchers batting look stupid here because the runs are flowing. The Scorchers, being the high-quality bowling unit that they are still picking up wickets. But they are just chomping off runs here, the Renegades. The Scorchers struggled to get 3 and over to start their innings. And the Renegades just flying at over 10. And they're almost halfway there. That is insane. 6 overs gone, and they're almost halfway through this run chase. That is insane. Just how freely the runs are flowing here. Andrew Tye back into the attack. Full and straight. Played down for no run. And, oh boy, do they need a lot of those now. They need a lot of dot balls and a lot of wickets. Cuts this one away through the gap for 4. Look at it race away over the outfield. Well, this is a completely different outfield. This is a completely different outfield. It is racing away suddenly. And the Renegades cruising to victory. Bethel beaten. And a dot ball. An all-important dot ball. Bethel looks to the square leg umpire, says, no ball, please, or wide. A wide for height. No call. Well, this is absolutely incredible, I've got to say. The Scorchers couldn't buy a boundary. The pace of the outfield has picked up immensely. Never mind the fielders, the pace of the ball just racing across the grass. It's night and day. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's almost like they moved stadiums at the innings break and didn't tell anybody. Like, oh yeah, let's just move the game next door to the other field. It's completely different. I mean, this is normal Test match cricket. You don't expect to see this from a T20, though. I mean, Test match cricket that's played over 5 days, about 72 hours per day that they play, you expect the conditions to change. It's very unusual that you see it to change this comprehensively after 10 minutes. Three for 72. 7 overs gone. Still travelling along nicely at over 10 and over. And making extremely light work of this run chase. And also officially at the halfway mark. 3 for 72. 72 more runs required. Officially at the halfway mark of the chase. The Renegades. Wickets potentially become an issue should they lose some more. And look, I put Ashton Agar in my multi at the innings break because of the way that the pitch was slow. But honestly, I'm not convinced by that anymore. It's been a completely different pitch now that the Scorchers are bowling on it. And I'm not so sold on Ashton Agar for any time wicket taker now, to be honest. But let's see. Starts with 1, down to long off. There is zero pressure on the Renegades batsmen at the moment. The required run rate is dropped well under 6 and over. And it is all on the Perth Scorchers now. They've got to dig deep. This championship-winning squad has to dig very, very deep and try and manufacture something here. Agar drifts onto the legs. They'll push for 2 here. The Renegades, no. They settle for 1. They would have got the 2 very easily if they decided to do it. But they settle for 1. Turned away to the leg side for 1. And that's all they need to do. This is going to be, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be a very, very boring little period of about 7 or 8 overs. Because the Renegades, they don't need to do anything but this. Just turn ones. Pick the gaps, turn ones. The run rate is well under 6 and over. And I'll be brutally honest that, yeah, this game is just going to be a little bit of a... Unless there's a wicket, it'll be a little bit of a snooze for a few overs. Just push down for 1. They don't need to do anything more. Three for 76. 7.5 overs gone. Agar drifts onto the legs. Turned away for 1. They'll push for 2 here, surely. No, they thought about it, but they stay with 1. So, 5 off that over. Three for 76. I've got bloody idle disgust, is what I've got. Not idle fever. Thank you very much. Completely different symptoms. Sorry, if you don't know the commercial, you've got no idea what I'm on about. Three for 77, 8 overs gone. 67 needed off 72. Well, that will make it easier. There's a 6 clipped over square leg. Well, this is absolutely incredible. The Renegades have made absolute light work out of this. They won the bat flip. They elected to field. And what a masterstroke. They've cruised to victory here. No, you absolutely do not want to know what the commercial is. Burn that show to the ground. Whatever it is. We won't even acknowledge its existence. Kelly, 1 for 24. Oh, that's wide down leg side. That's a shocker. That is just a shocking delivery. That is such poor bowling. And a wide down leg side. Certainly not what they can afford right now. The Scorchers. Kelly, 1 for 25 off 2.2. Evans guides it away into the gap. Just the one. Bethel, 26 off 18. Evans, 14 off 9. It's been night and day. As I said, the difference. The Scorchers. I'm pretty sure the Scorchers. Cooper Connolly was probably the only batsman who had runs more than his balls faced. All the Renegades batsmen at the moment, more runs than balls faced. They're cruising along. Looking to push for 2 there, but a slip at the non-striker's end. Keeps it to 1. And it's 3 for 86. 8.4 overs gone. They need wickets, and they need wickets fast to the Perth Scorchers. The Renegades, touching distance of the top of the table. Evans pushes it away through the gap on the offside. They'll come for 2 here. Surely. And again, over 10 in the over. Cruising. The Scorchers couldn't buy a run in their opening 10 overs. The Renegades will have this 1 within 12. It's insane. Last ball of Kelly's 3rd over. Fallen on the legs and driven for 4. Straight down the ground. Look at it race away. Oh, Berendorf chases. Just manages to keep it in, but they come back for a 3rd. Oh, they've run 4, have they? They've run 4. So they get the 4. 3 for 92. Ahoy there, name that I can't pronounce. Aguero. I go for the Brisbane Heat. So, in this game, I just want to see a game of it. Oh, I was pretty close, was I? Well, I'm pretty happy that I got even close, to be perfectly honest. I'm satisfied that I even got close. Yeah, my team is the Brisbane Heat. So, for a game, watching it as a neutral, I just want to see a game of it. I want to see a nice, close contest. Do I think Perth could pull a comeback? I don't think so. The ground has completely changed. The conditions have completely changed. What we saw from the Scorchers was they were hitting the ball into the outfield, and the ball was just sticking and pulling up. It was very, very slow. The Renegades are batting, and it is just racing away over the turf. So many boundaries that would have been ones and twos for the Scorchers are racing over the outfield for 4 for the Renegades. Hence why the Scorchers were struggling to get 3 and over, and the Renegades are just cruising at over 10. So the conditions have completely changed. Wickets is what they need. Some wickets will make it interesting, but yeah, it's cruising at the moment, the Renegades. Down the pitch goes Bethel. And they come back for 2. They race through for 2. And needing well under 6 and over here. Well, actually, they need under 5 and over now. It's 4.57, the required run rate. And they've got 4 already. Bowled him! Bowled him! Ashton Agar! Bethel swings and misses outside off, and it takes off stump. Not a lot of celebration there from the Perth Scorchers, because they know there's still a lot of work to do. But that is a massive wicket. A shot that did not need to be played. They need less than 5 and over to win. There is no need to go for big shots. They just need to keep pushing into the gaps for ones, and they will cruise through to victory in 15 or 16 overs. But Bethel could not resist. He's gone for the big hoik over the square leg fence, and he's missed it. And Agar makes the breakthrough. 4 for 96. And it's just presented a little bit of a sniff now for the Scorchers. A little bit. There is a small molecule of hope. But it is still the Renegades' game to lose. At 4 for 96, still requiring under 5 runs and over with a power surge in hand. But now only 6 wickets left in the dugout. Crazy from Bethel. He did not need that. He didn't need to do that. They need under 5 and over to win. If you need under 5 and over to win, you just push into the gaps and take singles. They did not need to go for a big hit there. That is just crazy. And it has presented an opportunity for the Scorchers. Oh, was that a turning point? Let's see. Be right back. Mackenzie Harvey out to the crease. He did extremely well in the field. What can he do with the bat? Mackenzie Harvey. 2 deliveries left here for Agar. Fended away for 1. That's all they need to do. That is still all they need to do. 47 needed from 61. That is still all that's needed. They don't need to do anything crazy. Final ball turned away for 1. They might push for 2. No, they'll just settle for 1 here. A wicket falls, but still they've got more than enough runs. 6 off the over. They only need to go at 4.5. This is still advantage Renegades, despite the wicket. But what an unnecessary wicket it was. You do not want to give a team like the Scorchers any sort of sniff at victory. Cooper Connolly did the wonders with the bat. Can he do wonders with the ball now? Floats it up on his first delivery, and it's away for a single. This is the problem for the Scorchers. Singles from here on in win it for the Renegades. Four for 99. 10.1 overs gone. They've dropped under the 10 runs per over, but Josh Brown and Seifert and then Bethel got them off to a fantastic start. Harvey away to mid-wicket, no run. Short and swing and a miss, and it's away for two. Unlucky there for Cooper Connolly. Didn't deserve to. Oh, and it's a wide down leg side as well, so that becomes three. That becomes 3 runs and an extra delivery. Just a controlling a single. 42 needed, or 58 balls. Renegades. The Scorchers probably won't defend this without wickets. They need wickets. Wickets will be the key. Connolly floats it up. Evans cuts at it. Swing and a miss. Through to the keeper for no run. Oh, the Renegades should cruise in from here. Should. Inside edge onto the pads. No run. Valuable dot ball. Renegades don't need to do anything crazy. Just push the singles. They've still got a power surge in hand. Evans, top edge. It's skied. It's up in the air. The fielders are under it, and the catch is taken by Behrendorff. Well, I just said they don't need to do anything foolish, and Evans has gone and done the most foolish thing imaginable and thrown his wicket away. They didn't need to do this. They don't need to do this. The Renegades had this match in control. Under 5 runs and over was needed. They just needed to push singles. They've gone for the big hit, and he skies it to the outfield. Behrendorff takes the catch. The set batsman is gone. Laurie Evans, 24 off 18. And the Renegades fall to 5 for 103. And this is just keeping the Scorchers interested. They were done. They were gone. The Renegades were cruising at over 10 runs and over. And they have now just presented the Scorchers, with a prime opportunity to pull off a big comeback victory here. You can't believe it. They just needed to push singles through the gaps. There's a power surge in hand. They didn't need to do anything out of the ordinary. What a complete cock-up this is for the Renegades. They are still the favourites, I dare say. This batting lineup goes very, very deep, and I would say they are still the favourites, but what an almighty cock-up. A couple of wickets have been thrown away here, and this just gives the Scorchers a little sniff here. They'll be interested. 5 for 104. Agar back into the attack. 40 runs needed from 53. They don't need to do anything stupid. Just push it into the gap. Power surge up the sleeve as well. Let's not forget that. Power surge to come. But with only 5 wickets left in the dugout, this has become very, very interesting indeed. Sutherland fends it away to mid-on for no run. I don't think they need to panic before they call the surge. Oh, lobbed back to the bowler and just short of Agar. That was so nearly a caught and bowled. An extra 10 centimetres off that hit, and Agar bags himself a caught and bowled. 4.71, the required run rate. Travelling along nicely at 9 and over. But wickets becoming an issue. Sutherland fends it down for no run. Agar bowling well. 5 for 104. 2 deliveries left here for Ashton Agar. And again, just fended away. No run. This is good bowling. 40 needed or 49. They can't possibly. The Renegades had this in full command. Inside edge. They'll get one. Away to fine leg. 39 needed or 48. 5 for 105, the Renegades. How have they let this slide so badly after the start they got off to? Power surge up the sleeve could be the key. The power surge overs will be massive. Have they left it too late? Connolly back into the attack. Floats it up, and it seems to be the spin slowing down the pace of the ball. The spinners are doing the job at the moment for the bloody Renegades, for the Scorchers. Harvey is 3 from 4. Sutherland 2 from 6. 2 fresh batsmen at the crease. 38 from 47 needed. Connolly floats it up. Harvey goes for it. Has he got all of it? 2 bounces and over the rope for an all-important boundary for the Renegades. He's gone for it. And Mackenzie Harvey gets just enough on it. I thought it might have been a catch as well, mate. There was nobody out there at long off. I thought that had gone straight up in the air and a catchable opportunity. 5 for 110. Connolly floats it up. Plays it back to him. Was it in the air? It was a tough chance. If that was a caught and bowled chance, it was a tough one. Oh, it was. It was up in the air. And he's dropped it. A very tough chance has gone to ground. And Harvey swing and a miss at this. Luckily for him, it hits the body. Otherwise, that was through to the keeper for a stumping. $34 or 44 needed. Renegades shorter delivery. Pulled away into the gap just for 1. Tense. Am I happy? Aguero, am I happy that the Renegades took Brown or not? Well, I'm a Brisbane Heat supporter, so no, I'm not happy at all. I am devastated as a Brisbane Heat fan to have lost Big Josh Brown. But, I mean, congratulations to the Renegades. What a pickup. He might not have got the job done tonight, but what a pickup for the season overall. A very, very good signing for the Renegades. 5 for 111. And this run rate now just starting to creep back up. The required run rate, that is, just starting to creep back up towards 5 and over. As the Scorchers are just hanging about. I'm so curious to see the odds now. We've seen the odds go all which way. Left, right, center, up, down, backwards, forwards. It's gone everywhere. And, whoa, okay. The Scorchers are blown out to $7. So the Renegades clearly still the red-hot favourites here as Harvey with the on-drive down to the long-on boundary for 1. $32 needed or 32 needed or 41 deliveries. 5 wickets in the dugout. 5 wickets is the key now for the Scorchers. You're not going to defend 32 or 41 balls without taking wickets. As simple as that. Turner floats it up and it's been driven into the offside for 1. Do they push for 2? They don't. They settle for the 1. Fair. That's all they need to do. Sutherland goes 3 from 8. Harvey's on 9 from 9. After 14 overs, the Scorchers were 4 for 69. I mean, geez, that tells a story right there. Swing and a miss and bowled. Clean bowled. Mackenzie Harvey's on his way. Oh, it's game on. 6 for 113. Mackenzie Harvey with a big hoik at this one. Looking to lift it from outside off. Over the leg side, it straightens and clips off stump. Clean bowled. And the Perth Scorchers have just refused to go away here. Mackenzie Harvey goes for 9 of 10 deliveries. And it is still game on here. Watch those odds slide. Watch those odds change. The Scorchers have come in from $7 to $4 now. The Renegades are still the favourites, as you would expect, at $1.23. But that is a big wicket now as the wickets continue to fall. Only 4 left in the dugout. This game is going down to the wire. And Tom Rogers out to the wicket. Turner drifts onto the legs. Could easily have been a wide. But it's played at. And glanced down to fine leg for 1. This match is now on a razor's edge. 6 for 114. 30 runs needed or 38. 4 wickets in the sheds. Sutherland pushes it down for 1. Do they come for 2? They don't. They settle for the 1 run. What a match this has been. Oh, they need to use the power surge. Yes, the Renegades have still got the power surge up the sleeve, let's not forget. Turner backs away, jams it into his toes. No run. Crucially, perhaps, the Renegades have a surge up the sleeve. They do need to use it while they've still got batsmen at the crease. They're running out of batsmen. We are starting to get into the tail here. And they've got to consider pulling the trigger at some point. It could very well be all or nothing, the power surge. 29 needed or 36 balls. Cooper Connolly back into the attack. 2 overs, 1 for 11. He's bowled well. He batted well. Youngblood. 29 of 36. Floats it up and it's just driven to the offside for 1. So all they need still. That required run rate has stayed under 5. And as long as that's under 5, it is still advantage the Renegades, I reckon, even if they are into the tail. In T20 cricket, your tail enders can easily knock off 5 and over. Wickets obviously become an issue, but you would still back the batting side at less than 5 and over, no matter how many wickets down they are. Connolly goes for the caught and bowled. It's deflected off his hands and a chance of a run out now, but he misses the stumps. Well, everything happened there and then some. A caught and bowled chance for Youngblood. It's off the fingertips and away, and it was almost a run out. Direct hit would have had him. Well, that delivery dished up absolutely everything. Connolly, again, down the field for a single. It's all they need, the Renegades. This is the thing, right? Like, the Renegades only need one. If they get one run of ball, they win. 27 needed or 34. Just one run of ball. I don't understand. I mean, pressure does crazy things to people in sports, right? Pressure does weird and wonderful things because they don't need to do anything silly. Punch it down for a single, just like that. Long on, long off, are both back. One's down the ground with ease. Take your 6 runs, and you've got the game won in a few overs. 25 needed off 32. They've got their 4 off this over. Connolly puts it full. It's pushed away for 1 to the offside. 5 from the over, which is all they need. 24 off 31. Wickets are the problem. Last ball here for Connolly. Outside edge up in the air, but it lands safe. They come through for the single. 6 from the over, more than what they need. 23 needed now off 30 balls. This game certainly got pushed closer than we expected, the way that it started. Topsy-turvy and still not over yet. Another wicket, and we well and truly enter the tail. Ashton Agar in to bowl his last. 23 needed off 30 balls. 4 wickets in hand. Ashton Agar 1 for 13 off 3. A wicket would be massive. Agar drifts onto the legs. It's a wide down leg side, and they come through for at least 1. They'll come back for a second. And that is a poor start from Agar. Wide down the leg side. And that completely swings things in favour of the Renegades there. Getting way too far down leg side there, Agar. And he starts with a wide 20 off 30 for the Renegades. And he overcompensates now, and it's too far outside off, but gets away with it. Just pushed away for 1. $19 needed off 29 deliveries. They win this easily, do the Renegades, just pushing singles. It's up to the Scorchers here to force the issue and get the wickets as a dot ball, a valuable dot ball for Ashton Agar here. The pressure all on the Renegades. No run. Another dot. 19 of 26. Oh, 19 of 27. Sorry, there was the wide to start. Ball. An on-off stump pushed away for a single. Perfectly played there from Sutherland and the Renegades. Six for 126. Wickets. New batsman will struggle. We know this. 2 deliveries left for Agar. Loops this one up in the air, and it's just beyond Agar. And they come through for a single. That was almost taken. High on the bat, but landing safely in behind the bowler. 17 to win. 25 balls. 4 wickets left. Agar to finish his spell. Turned away for a single. They're going to push for 2 here. It's hit short into the gap. Direct hit gets him, and he's gone. A direct hit was needed, and a direct hit was gotten. What a throw from the outfield. And I tell you what, the runner is in trouble here. The only chance of a run out here was a direct hit. And this is slammed into the stumps. He is in big trouble. They took the fielder on. A direct hit was the only chance, and he's out by a mile. He has gone by a long way, and that is huge. And once again, they didn't need to do that, the Renegades. They have thrown another wicket away here. They did not need to take this sort of risk. And he is on his way. A run out, a direct hit from the outfield. 7 for 128, and we are into the tail. Officially, the tail has been exposed. And I tell you what, Aguero, I think I say your name differently every single time, and I do apologize for that. I'm trying. Aguero. The problem that they've created for themselves now, the Renegades, they've left the power surge for the tail. They still have Sutherland out there, but Fergus O'Neill, who has 9 runs in his BBL career. Now, granted, his BBL career is not exactly a bloody decade of whatever, but pushes this to the offside for no run. But even if they call the surge now, they've left it to the tail. Guero. Okay. So there's a GW in there. Aguero. Is it Spanish by any chance? Aguero. Berendorf into the attack, fended away to the offside, looking for a single. It'll be a run out with a direct hit, but he misses the stumps. Agar misses with the throw. O'Neill, Fergus O'Neill was stranded in no man's land. A direct hit, and he's gone. He misses the stumps. Oh, boy. This game is going down to the wire. O'Neill again tries to guide it to the offside. No run. 7 for 128. This game is not over yet. 16 of 21 needed. It is starting to close up. It is closing up when all looked lost. The Renegades. Berendorf with 3 dot balls to start. looped up past the bowler. They come flying through for a single, and they do get the 1 run. Importantly, it gets Sutherland on strike. 15 needed off 20. Almost a caught and bowled. 2 deliveries left. Power surge must be called the next over. They surely call the surge the next over. They've called the field in here. They've said to Sutherland, if you're good enough to lift this over the infield and hit a 4, you deserve it, mate. They've called the field in. They want to make sure Fergus O'Neill is on strike for the next over. Berendorf in. Turned down for 1. 2 runs off this over. 1 delivery left. 14 off 19. 3 wickets in the dugouts. Well, this game is regardless of the result, this game has lived up to expectations. We thought it would be a blockbuster. It has certainly delivered in spades, as they say. Fergus O'Neill back on strike. The Scorchers need a single here, really, or a wicket. Pulled away. Do they take the 1? They do. The Renegades take the single. Fergus O'Neill will be on strike. 2 overs left. 18 runs. 13 runs needed, 18 balls. That was key. The Scorchers needed Fergus O'Neill on strike. I'll have a quick break. Be right back. 2 overs to go. Two overs to go. Oh, 3 overs to go, sorry. 13 runs needed. AJ Tye into the attack. Slower ball onto the legs. Turned away for no run. Sutherland on strike. Hinchy, thank you very much for the follow over there on TikTok. 7 for 131, 13 of 17. It is still advantage Renegades. Tye, slower ball outside off, just over the top of mid-off and away to the boundary for 4 centimetres. Centimetres over the man at mid-off. The difference between the two teams now has become Mackenzie Harvey's leap in that first innings. Mackenzie Harvey leaps and catches that. For the Scorchers, it's just over the top of the fielder at mid-off. Just centimetres. And it's away to the boundary for 4. Pulls it away now for 1. Gets Sutherland on strike. 8 or 15. What a crucial boundary. A bonus from Fergus O'Neill. Five off the over. What a gift that was. Yeah, they basically have to take it next over. Yes, I don't think you cannot take it and it pushed to the offside for a single. Well run. Yeah, I don't think you can not take it, to be honest. So with 7 runs needed, 14 balls, a power search up the sleeve. Clearly advantage for the Renegades here. 7 from 14, 3 wickets in hand. And a dot ball for Ty. 6 from this over so far. 1 delivery to go. A wicket would make things very interesting. Big delivery here. Big wicket. This would certainly send things chaotic if Andrew Ty bags one here. Final ball of his third over. It's short. It's pulled away. It doesn't find the gap. It's just a single. 6 runs needed now off the final 2 overs. 3 wickets in hand, but Fergus O'Neill will be on strike. Power surge to start. Why take a single with so many balls in hand? They've taken a single and they have left Fergus O'Neill exposed now to the power play. The field will be up in the circle. There will be no easy single for Fergus. That might turn out to be a ludicrous decision. Six runs needed off the final 12 balls, but Fergus O'Neill on strike. Will Sutherland could have finished it with 2 hits if he had the strike. Behrendorff to bowl. Fergus O'Neill's easy singles have been taken away from him now. Marnus King says, what do I think of McSweeney's axing? Very, very harsh, obviously. But as a Brisbane Heat supporter, I'm so happy to have McSweeney back in the Brisbane Heat squad. Behrendorff to bowl. 6 runs needed. 12 balls remain. 3 wickets in hand. And Fergus O'Neill to start the power surge. Behrendorff bangs it in and it's turned away for a single. Well, they gave him an easy single on the leg side. I don't understand that. I don't understand that fielding setup at all. If they're going to rip through these last 3 wickets, Fergus O'Neill on strike would have been critical, and they have just gifted him a single on the first ball. That makes no sense to me, I'm sorry. That's really poor bowling and really poor fielding and just really poor captaincy. Behrendorff onto the legs again, turned away from Sutherland. They race through for 1. 4 needed now. Brings Fergus O'Neill back on strike, but the Renegades apparently seem more than content to have Fergus O'Neill on strike. They are backing their batsmen here to get ones all the way through. 4 from 10. It's a gift single. Square of the wicket on the leg side. A gift single. Square of the wicket on leg side. O'Neill lifts it up. Scoops it up to Turner at mid-off for a wicket. Well, it's not over yet. It is not over yet. O'Neill just lobs this up to mid-off. 8 for 140. Is there a twist left in the tail? All he needed to do was step across the stumps and guide it down to fine leg for 1. He scoops it to mid-off and he's gone. 8 for 140. Wow. Oh, this game. This game. Unbelievable. Another blockbuster in the BBL 14. It has tossed up so many good games this year, right? Already, we're only 10 into the tournament, right? We're only in week 2. And it has already thrown up so many good games. Zampa comes to the crease. 4 runs needed with 9 deliveries left. 8 for 140. Zampa on strike. Berendorf in. Wide outside off stump. Finds the fielder. Agar bends it down. They don't get the run. 4 runs needed. 8 balls left. 2 wickets in hand, but still, there should be no panic from the Renegades. Berendorf in again. Zampa. It's fallen on off stump. Beats the field. And they'll come through for 1. They get the single. It should have been a dot. They get the single, and they're just 1 hit away now, the Renegades. 3 needed from 7 balls. It's just 1 big hit away. Three to win. 7 deliveries left. Berendorf to bowl his last. 2 wickets in hand. A wicket. Oh, my God. A wicket would make it interesting. He's gone for it. Sutherland gets it over the top of the infield. They'll come back to run 3, surely. And that will be the win for the Renegades. With an over to spare, Sutherland has done the job, and the Renegades have joined the chat. The Melbourne Renegades have said, BBL 14, we are here. We are part of the party. We are the real deal. The Melbourne Renegades go to the top of the table into the Christmas break. And they have made a big statement here by defeating the Perth Scorchers by 2 wickets. Chasing it down with an over to spare. They have recruited extremely well in the off-season. Seifert, Josh Brown, just to name 2. The Melbourne Renegades are the real deal in BBL 14. And that is a big, big statement victory over the Perth Scorchers. Renegades to the top of the table. What a Christmas present. And what a game. I'm so glad that we got a game out of it. It looked a bit iffy. At many, many periods throughout that, it looked very, very iffy. The Scorchers off to a really slow start. They managed to fight their way back into it with the bat. They got off to a shocking start with the ball, and they managed to fight their way back into it with the ball. And it made a game and a half out of it. And I've got to say, as a Brisbane Heat supporter, I have now got a lot of faith in my Brisbane Heat as they come up against the Perth Scorchers now on Boxing Day. I suddenly have a lot of faith in my team that they might be able to knock them off. Melbourne Renegades to the top of the table. Unbelievable. The Melbourne Renegades, the perennial whipping boys of the BBL, right? I mean, let's be honest. The Melbourne Renegades are traditionally fighting it out for the wooden spoon year after year. They have recruited well. They have got a team to compete, and compete they are. They are the top of the table early in BBL 14. Going into the Christmas break, on top of the table, the Brisbane Heat second, the Sydney Sixers third, the Perth Scorchers rounding out the top four. And we've got a big doubleheader. A couple of days off, and then a big doubleheader. How many things have I dropped tonight? Seriously. How many things have I knocked off the table? Honestly, if you couldn't see my face, you would swear that I wasn't human. You'd think I was a cat. The amount of things I've knocked off the table tonight. Anyway. The Melbourne Renegades on top. The Brisbane Heat in second spot. The Sydney Sixers in third. And the Perth Scorchers in fourth. Going into the break. 2 days off. And then we'll be back for a huge doubleheader on Boxing Day. Brisbane Heat, my team, versus the Perth Scorchers. And as a Brisbane Heat supporter, I've got to say that probably the Scorchers are still a quality team. Please don't get me wrong. The Perth Scorchers are still going to be a very hard team to beat. They are still a very good team through and through. They will be very difficult to beat. But as a Brisbane Heat supporter, I've never been more confident now going into a game against the Scorchers that we might actually get the win on Boxing Day. Bring it on. A big doubleheader. Who knows? We'll see what Michelle's up to. She may or may not be interested in joining us. We'll find out. Boxing Day coming up. A couple of days off here on the Waste of World of Sports. Renegades on top, says up the Gades. Congratulations, Renegade supporters. I tell you what, I've talked about it in a few streams now. The Renegades have recruited so well. They have got such a good all-round team. 7 wickets down. 7 wickets down. And they still, you still felt comfortable that they had the batting in hand to be able to see them through. Yes, it went down to the wire. It shouldn't have gone down to the wire. It did go down to the wire, but they're just so well-rounded now. I mean, 7, 8 wickets down, and they still saw it through. That is a championship team in the making right there. The Renegades, I've said it in the lead-up to this game, that they are a championship-winning team in BBL 14. This was the game. They had the opportunity to make a statement, and they made that statement through and through. What a win for the Melbourne Renegades. Bethel was great. I mean, look, he threw his wicket away, yes. But it happens. We see that in cricket from the best of the best. Right? Championship, international level players throw their wickets away. It happens. I mean, sometimes in the heat of the moment, you just let loose. Bethel threw his wicket away, but he also contributed magnificently to that run chase and to their win. He did extremely well. So you can forgive a little rush of the blood when you ultimately win. Oh, boy. All right. Waste of World of Sports. What a blockbuster finish that we saw here. This game lived up to its expectations in the end, even though it looked a little bit flaky for a while there. It really did. It looked like it could have turned into a bit of a stinker, but I'm glad that it lived up to expectations, went down to the wire. What a match. The Melbourne Renegades to the top of the table. Wasted World of Sports live on YouTube, live on TikTok. Wasted World of Sports on Facebook. wastedsports.com.au. Thank you so much for joining me for this one. Very much appreciate it. We'll be back on Boxing Day for the doubleheader. My Brisbane Heat in action against the Perth Scorchers and whatever the game is before that one. We'll see you then. Thank you so much. Melbourne Renegades, top of BBL 14. Enjoy that. Until next time, cheers.